Welcome to our podcast.
Why are you saying it like it's a joke?
I'm not. It's just it's funny. My name's Katie Segal, and welcome to Pie.
Slice of pie.
Slice of pie, yes.
Which is I'm that. I'm Kurt. I'm Sutter, and I am part of the pie experience. People.
Tell them what pie,
People.
Influences and experiences.
There you go.
Or experiments.
Or experiments.
Yeah, you can change it up.
You could change it up. How was your day? Are we going to do that bit?
Yeah. That's. I didn't know you were going to dive that deep. My day is, how's my day? I mean, breathe. I'm a little sad.
You're sad?
A little sad.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Oh, no, that was heartburn. I'm actually okay.
Oh.
No, I'm all right.
You're okay?
A little out of sorts, but
yeah. It's kind of a foggy, out of sorts day.
It is. But I'm happy to be, home. I'm happy to be here.
I'm so happy.
Happy to be with you.
I'm happy to be with you.
Happy to with the boy.
I know. I can't wait to tell people who our slice of pie guest is, because what can I say? It's just like being at home. Anyway, so yes, our guest, we're going to introduce him right now, is the wonderful, amazing, our son, Jackson White.
All right.
Say hi.
Hi, guys. This is really cool. This is, I kind of feel like I'm in trouble.
You are.
Like, a little bit.
It is a little bit like
I sit down, like,
a little bit like
the only time
Jackson, can we see you, please?
Yeah.
In the red room now.
sitting across from you feels like you found something I had that I wasn't supposed to have.
Which used to happen when you were a teenager.
I know, all the time.
And you...
Contraband.
Yeah, it feels like that. Usually it was Gloria that found it.
Totally. Something bad that was supposed to be there.
Teenage.
Oh, Jackson.
But I'm glad it's cool that we've come full circle, and I have a job where I make real money now.
So great.
And
I don't.
And yeah, I don't have to ask you, and you don't. That's good. Do the viewers at home you understand that?
I don't really understand that.
No.
Do you want to explain it?
No.
He doesn't want to explain it. He doesn't really want to talk about it.
Do you guys chop into the bullshit, or do you...
No, we keep it real, man.
Untethered?
Yeah, I mean, if something happens, like,
we need to edit.
Like, come here.
No, Fred.
Come on, Fred.
Hey, come here.
This is Jackson's dog, Freddie.
This is the fabulous Fred.
He loves podcasts.
He does? Oh, I'm sorry, but he's really might steal your thunder. He's so cute.
Boy.
The banter is part of the, our whole thing is we don't prepare anything.
That's cool.
So we never,
That's cool.
Even though I will say for Jackson's slice of pie, we did.
Slice of pie, we have to have some questions, so we're not.
It's when we usually answer fan questions. And so we just thought, since we actually do know where you were born and where you came from and kind of.
We don't have to do the backstory.
Yeah, not so much.
Yeah, and also, like, if we got deep or we started talking about real stuff, it would probably go on so long because we can talk for a while because we're family.
Right.
So it would be more interesting to have, like, a theme.
Until one of us got upset and left the room.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. But
totally
what's interesting is we are a family that talks about things, which, some families don't.
Yeah, we talk about stuff. Yeah.
We talk about stuff. We're that family.
Sit down.
Yeah, sometimes too much.
Sometimes too much, yes.
Oh, yeah, we talk earlier. Yeah. I think we're oversharers.
Are we oversharers?
Oh, yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
I think we lean into the emotions a little more than we need to sometimes.
Yeah, we're an emotional bunch.
Here we are.
But it's good.
Ultimately, I think, there's two kinds of schools of thought. There's those people that just sort of brush things under the rug and don't address it. And then there's those of us that, we talk a lot about, the fact that in order for us to stay healthy and recovered and all that stuff, we have to tell the truth. So we don't brush a lot of stuff under the carpet.
Yeah.
That's our MO. Freddie, don't eat my food.
Sometimes we try, and then it
Yeah, we're not good liars.
These gets all moldy and you trip over it and eventually you have to.
You can't bottle anything that.
But we're going to do a two-parter here.
Oh,
So
right, exactly.
First are sort of general questions about more family-ish stuff, and then the second segment will be all about your fabulous television show.
Cool.
Tell Me Lies.
Tell Me Lies.
Tell me lies.
Streaming on Hulu.
On Hulu. Finale is
Out.
out.
It's out. So it's all us. Now you can sit, if you haven't watched it, you can binge the whole thing, which is what I like to do.
How many
Right.
episodes?
8 episodes.
8 episodes.
And
10
it's-
first season.
Yeah, I'm just going to say this, and I know I'm his mom, but it's so good, and he's so good.
Oh, that's...
I'll talk more about it, but
Everyone's killing it. Everyone's so...
everyone is really good, but
You're just
I'm just your mom.
biased. So you have to say that.
Okay.
So these are some of the
It's like, please
family
fucking
questions.
Please, enough with the...
Enough with the like that.
Oh, you're going to get into
You
that.
eat during?
Well,
This we do
this we eat during the
because
you know we could
Because you did another podcast before this, so we're on the dessert portion.
No,
we do
with
the
slice
dessert
of
with
pie.
that, too.
It's sort of more of a conversation over pie, where we ask questions rather than like if we were doing a full podcast. This would be the pie section where you talk about stuff you've done. And
Got
blah,
it,
blah,
got
blah.
it, got
So
it.
it's sort of pie-ish.
Okay.
But to that, is this your favorite pie?
Yes,
It is.
I love pumpkin pie
tell us why.
because it reminds me of it's Aunt Mac's pumpkin pie. It reminds me of Aunt Mac's pumpkin pie.
Right.
Everywhere I go. Also, I think it was Jack's favorite pie,
I think it was.
and he always used to bring a pumpkin pie. And I don't know. It's the warmest pie. It's the most comfortable pie. And to get deep here, I'm someone who really likes to be comfortable.
I know.
I'm learning that about myself.
You are.
Like I'm very into creature comforts and not being outside of my comfort zone, which is a good thing and a bad thing.
Well, and you're also very routine oriented, wouldn't you say?
I'm very routine oriented.
That keeps you comfortable.
Yeah, I like the same thing over and over.
Do you eat the same thing every day?
I do. I usually eat the same things like for weeks at a time.
Right. Sort of like Kurt was when I met him.
Hey. No
He had
pie.
like 4 different foods in his
Freddie, come
refrigerator.
here. Come here.
Freddie, you don't want that.
He had tofu, rice cakes, Diet Coke.
Pumpkins are
olive oil.
not good for dogs.
Pumpkins are good.
Or not good, I don't think.
I don't think
Pumpkin is good for the stomach.
It is good for that.
I thought it killed them.
Chocolate. No, it fucking kills something. No, I don't think that's true about pumpkins. I think maybe
I think I just made that up.
The chocolate's not good for dogs.
chocolate's not good.
But yes, Kurt was very when Kurt first came into our life. He is actually. When
He
he's
did the
left
same
up to his
thing.
own devices, he'll eat the same thing every day.
And you were very OCD, right? And you are OCD. But you said to me the other day, you were like, you there's no room for that when you have kids.
No, you can't.
You can't be OCD
You gotta embrace the sticky and the messy,
because everything's
because otherwise you'll go insane.
Or except that the other way to solve it is he always has a man cave, as we call it, which is completely not sticky, basically.
Well, yeah, but it's still like you can't.
In whatever house we've lived
Yeah,
in.
It's so funny because the man cave should be a place where you can like make a mess and whatever, but yours is the opposite.
Yeah, mine's like
Your man cave is somewhere where you can be.
yeah,
Nuts.
anal.
Yeah.
Completely organized. Yes.
That's so funny.
Who moved the book?
Yeah. Down. Good boy.
I'm going to jump into some questions.
Let's
Yes,
do it.
let's do it.
This first question is from Gail Ghost. Oh, okay. I'm hearing. Wait a minute.
Can you please try the username?
Wait a minute. This
That's
just
funny.
in from our producer. Okay, understood. Is that for all of the questions? Don't.
I put on there from YouTube or from Reddit. It's just as their name is from Patreon.
Okay. Well, you'll tell me if I should say a name, because now I'm very confused. Here's the question. It just occurred to me, this is not me saying that, this is somebody. It just occurred to me that Jackson from What the Fuck Sutter so many years ago is Jackson White. Holy hell. Did you do What the Fuck Sutter? He did? Wow. Loved Jackson's interpretation of Judd Crandall in Pet Sematary. bloodlines. My question, I'm sorry, I'm reading like I'm 4. My question is, what kind of preparation did you do for that role? And did you go back and reread the original King novel? How much of it was influenced by previous interpretations, blah, blah, blah. Also, how fun was it to be in the King universe? Look forward to seeing what's next. So I think it was, what did you go back and look at previous and read?
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
First of all, what the fuck, Sutter? What did I do?
I had a thing I did on YouTube during Sons where I would answer questions. And
Did I do that?
you must have...
I think you were at the house one day.
Yeah, it sounds like maybe didn't know I was on camera.
You were
I was
very
probably
young.
a child.
You were a kid.
I was probably a kid.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
You signed a waiver, though.
Yeah, but you made me sign waivers all the time. That's what, when you grow up in a Hollywood family, you walk in, there's NDAs by the front door.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
Every dinner, candy without signing.
It sucks. It's very lonely. Pet Cemetery. Yeah, I didn't do much training. I mean, I went to this. There was this whole like segment at the end where we had to put on these animal masks and channel the animal spirits, and I had to put on this bear mask, and I was like reading the script, and I told this trainer that I had to do that, and I was like, oh yeah, part of it, it's like I'm crawling through these tunnels and I have a bear mask on, and he was like, perfect, we're gonna do bear stuff. So this is not like part of anything, but I was like crawling around and pushing weights like a bear would.
Wow.
And I was like, had nothing. It's not like this guy had to be like in shape. It was fucking Fred Gwynn. It was like I was playing young Fred Gwynn, and I ended up looking like a jacked young whatever. So yeah, that was like unnecessary training. I did some rifle training.
Push it like a bear.
Yeah, I did it perfect. Yeah, all fours. Put on one mask. Yeah, here's your nose. And then I did reread. I read the book, and I watched the original movie, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. And it was a blast. It was cool to be a part of the Stephen King. And I think he sees like every adaptation, or he like is aware of every adaptation. Yeah. And I think probably for maybe the bigger ones, he's like, I don't know, he gives more in depth. But with ours, I think he just said like, nice,
You got a thumbs up.
good
That's
job,
good.
which is
It's a lot from Stephen.
Oh wait, no, someone did tell me something. I think the poster's hanging in some like his office, maybe, or something.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Oh,
So
we
it's like
love
Forrest's
that.
face in his office, which was cool. Anyway,
All right, I have a question.
Go, you ask one.
This is from Elaine. When did you know?
Katie, we don't have to say their names.
I can do it the way I want.
yeah, you guys.
When
Please don't
did-
put me in the middle of this.
No, you walk me.
I don't want to be in a fight right now.
We're not going to fight.
Fred.
When did you know you wanted to be an actor, given that you grew up amidst the acting and writing business and the music business, I would say? Did you know you wanted to be an actor at a very young age, or was it more recent?
So my sister was doing plays when I was a kid. She was in all those musicals and Guys and Dolls and a bunch of
Plays. School plays.
Yeah, school plays.
What's the-
She was
What's the
in
one she
Annie.
did?
She was in...
What was the thing she was part of?
what's Seymour? She was in Seymour. She was in
She was part of the
Little Shop of Horrors.
Little Shop of Horrors. She did a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
And I thought it was so cool, but I was like, I remember I asked you in the car one time, I was probably like 5, and I was like, there's a Star Wars musical, right? Like I could do Star Wars or maybe like X-Men or like a Superman play. And I remember you were like, no. And I was like, well, I don't really want to act. I don't really want to do that. Ironically, now that's what movies are now.
Yeah, exactly. That's all they are.
Yeah. All superhero stuff. But and no, I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, I don't know. I took it seriously when I wanted more discipline because I was playing music my whole life, and I thought that was the only way. But then when I started acting, first of all, I wanted to make money. I knew I wanted to make money, and I wanted to do something that held me accountable because I couldn't I can just play drums and drink beer and do that all day long and go on the road, and that was really fun. It sounded really fun. But when I started acting, it was like, no, you got to be present. You have to be there. You have to work really hard at it. You have to train for a couple of years to get better at it. You have to just work your way up. And I think I just fell in love with the trajectory of it. I really liked the ladder system, which I think I just crave. I crave moving up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And seeing a linear thing.
Yeah, progress. Like I did the Meisner thing where they put you from beginner to intermediate to advanced. Right. And I think that's why I kept acting, because I was like, the validation of moving up the ladder.
Right.
And then now it's even the same thing. It's like I want to keep going up the ladder.
Right.
Sounds like I'm a climber.
Can I just interject something into
Yeah.
that? I know it's your question, but I just remember
No, it's
when
your question.
Jackson, you went to college for a couple of years, and you were disappointed with you went into a music program and it was just not as advanced as you were, was the truth. And
I wouldn't say that, because
It was different.
It was different. It wasn't like I couldn't hold my shit together in the oral skills and theory and composition.
Right.
I couldn't do it. But there was a portion of it that was all about introducing you to other musicians and like putting you in like a fabricated gig scenario where they play in different, you know what I mean? Where they put you in clubs or whatever. It's like something you only learn from experience. And I had a lot of that experience already.
But that just led me to when you said, like, first you switched to the theater department, remember, at USC. And then you said, I'm not really digging school. And we said to you, okay, but you have to do something.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah,
huh?
we did. You came home, you moved back in. We said, yeah, but you got to do something. So you enrolled in the Meisner class.
Yep.
And got, my outside purview was you got sort of the discipline and focus that you're talking about, and you liked it.
I liked it.
And you liked being good at it. Like you liked when, like you were explaining.
I did. And it's not like I just jumped right into acting because I liked the discipline. Like I'd been doing it since I was 13. I loved plays and musicals, and I did all the school musicals, and I loved performing from when I was a kid.
Right.
But that was the discipline, and you did tell me you can't. So I got a job, and I entered school, private school, not private school,
An acting school.
Yeah, outside.
Right.
Not college, but something else.
So, all right. So there's the answer to that question.
Long-winded.
Let's go. What's your question?
My
now?
next question is, first of all, this person on Reddit loves Katie Seagal.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Let's
Was
see.
that a question for me? Just curious.
And I'm just nothing, no mention of me. Okay,
They didn't
'cause
hit you
Katie has had and still having a great career. Loved her in Married with Children, Smart House, Lost. And her question for you, Jackson, is: has Katie given you any advice in your career and/or acting you felt was particularly helpful? And she's in the room.
And Katie's in the room, so be fucking careful. Don't mess this up. I mean, you know what I'm going to say.
I'm not sure.
This was a job for you, and family was the thing. This was the job, and that's how you always treated it. And that's kind of my simple answer to that. Is like, that's what I took from it. Go do your work, be passionate, work hard, but then this is
What matters.
Yeah, this is what matters. That shit's.
It's great to find something you love to do.
Yeah. I think go really extreme with the passion and chase that as far as it can go. But just don't lose yourself in the smoke of what we do. Because it's all smoke.
It's a lot of smoke. Yeah.
You meet great people, but stay grounded. I think that was your vibe.
Yeah, which is kind of what I learned from my family, because my parents were also in this business, and there was a real reality about this is a hard day's work, and it's not all about accolades, and it's not all that. It's you're doing a job that's a service, and do it well.
Yes.
Commit to it, but then don't believe all the hype.
There's no hype. Like, it's not real.
Right.
Spencer told me the other day, he was like, oh my God. Like, he'll see an actor and just go, oh my God, they believe the bit. Some people believe the bit.
Oh yeah.
They believe like that they're like special or something. And you can always tell.
Right.
It's really funny. It's like, no, you're not,
Well, you're special to me because you're my son.
Everyone's kid is special to them.
Right. All right, here I have another question.
Yeah.
This is a question from Reddit. What is a fun fact about you that most people do not know?
I can think of so many facts about me that are not fun.
Well, just something that would surprise people. Maybe.
I mean, maybe the musical theater thing.
Oh, yes.
Because I'm this serious, like, toxic manipulator on TV, but I'm deeply silly. I love song and dance.
You do.
I really do. I loved it since I was like
good
14.
at it. Yeah.
Totally. I loved doing musicals. I thought I was the best. I want to do one day.
That's a great
Another one.
fact.
I think it's so much fun. I think they're so, yeah, that's it. They're so silly.
Okay, next.
Should we move on to Tell Me Lies?
No, I think I have another question.
Oh, okay.
Don't you have a number 5 question?
Oh, yeah, I do. Oh, yes. How could I miss this one? Jackson, your tattoos are so cool. Could you share meanings behind them? And is there a particular genre? Oh, it's a whole different question. Or I thought they were going to say type of tattoo, but type of film you'd like to be part of in the future. So, tattoo. Let's do tattoo.
Yeah. Unless they're asking, like, do I want to have tattoos in a role?
No, I think they're asking two different questions.
Okay. Hi, Fred. Isn't that ridiculous?
He's so bad.
He's so funny. He's like a storybook dog. I can't. That's so fucking funny.
What tattoos do you like, Jackson?
Well, I got one that I have that you had. My mom got these tattoos on her arm, and I loved them so much. And so I took the design she had, and I blew them up, and I put them on my arm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew you had those tattoos. I didn't know that you took.
Yeah. I have a bunch on here that I got in Florida with Grace's family, or their family tattoo artist. I thought that was really cool. This guy Clay out in.
Does her mom have ink?
No, I don't think they have any. It's like your grandpa and grandma and all the Harley people.
Oh, I got you.
They like go to this guy.
Right.
He did that. And these I got to impress Grace, like on my hands.
Right.
Because I was straight out of rehab, and I was like, I'm going to get some cool shit. And I just wanted more. Oh, and then Jack, my friend Jack, is an actor, and he had hand tattoos. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. I'm stupid.
Didn't Grace give you a tattoo?
Yeah, Grace gives me tattoos all the time. Grace gave me this one. Grace gave me this one behind my ear.
Nice.
And that is
I guess there's a whole story about this online. People think that because me and Thomas, who plays Leo on Tell Me Lies, we both have this tattoo back here.
Is it the same tattoo?
Well, no, everyone thinks it is. It's not.
What is it? Yours
Mine is an accident because I asked Grace. I was like, Grace, give me like a fucking like a bat or something cool, and she was like, okay. And then I just heard her like, and I was like, what? She's like, I think we got to pivot. And I looked in the mirror, and it was like, it was all messed up. So I just made it into like stitches, I guess. Yeah. A line of stitches.
Did she use a real tattoo thing?
She uses ink and a needle, and it's called a stick and point.
Sticking point, yeah.
Stick and poke.
It's like prison ink.
Right. And then she just jabs and jabs and jabs.
Well, because, Grace spent, 6 years in prison?
7.5.
7.5. Yeah.
She's a badass.
It's a badass.
Possession and
I think
Assault and battery, I think. Right?
assault and battery.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That was also in Ormond Beach. What else? What else? Oh, tattoo. Oh, yeah, and that's it.
I like the
She
second
gives
part
me
of
all
that.
kinds of weird stuff.
She has, didn't you have one from a game, too? You have,
I do have one from a game.
yeah, you have from Elder Scrolls.
Elder Scrolls. I have an Elder Scrolls tattoo because it's my favorite game.
I know, I
played it-
love that.
I've played it since I was 8 till,
Your mom and I are getting tattoos.
You are? What are you
Yeah, because we decided for our 20th wedding anniversary we were going to go out and get ink, matching ink.
Why is she looking like she doesn't know about this?
Well, I do know about it, but we haven't made the
we're
plan
not
yet.
rushing into it.
Okay.
I might get like a band, wedding band.
That's cool.
That's cool. Yes, I would like that.
But she can't, her hands are so fragile.
Yeah, I
know.
can't put a wedding band, but I'll put something
What
somewhere
about a
else.
bracelet?
Oh, maybe a bracelet. That's
wedding-
not
yeah,
a
a
bad
wedding
idea.
bracelet.
I couldn't do my
I could
wrists.
do a wedding
Well,
bracelet.
you can't do a ring.
But you could do a
I mean,
ring.
you can do a bracelet,
Ring.
and you can't do a ring.
That's right. So, I could
you
do a bracelet.
You do a little half bracelet. You don't.
We
even
just have to
go
find a
half one.
design that you could.
Yeah.
That there would be some connection.
I love that. Oh, that's a great idea.
I love it. That's another thing about tattoos is that it was always fine because my parents had them. I feel like
It's just me.
it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I come back. Yeah,
Like I couldn't get in trouble. I got tattoos when I was 17. And it didn't matter because you couldn't get mad at me.
I know.
Actually, though, you did do it. Wasn't the law that you have to be 18 to get a tattoo? And I think that was another one that you kind of stretched.
So I
just
think
a
I
little
stretched
bit.
that. I
You
stretched
were
that.
a
I stretched my
stretcher.
driver's license.
Driver's license, you
I
stretched.
stretched a bunch. I just found loopholes, man.
You did. You
'Cause I
were
was
really
ready
good
to
at that.
go.
I know.
You were-
so ready to go.
So ready to go.
I could tell some personal stories, but I won't.
And here's the best thing though, Jackson. You never left.
That's right.
And we left.
Really.
So sweet. But I like the second half of that question, just because I would like.
No.
I would like to hear what kind of roles are you looking to play?
Is there a particular genre? Yes.
Yeah,
you'd like
the
to be
genre
part of.
that you would like to be in.
That's a good question. Come here. Come here. I'm so distracted by him. Down.
Because I want pie.
I'm just gonna sit. And this is when he behaves, and I can listen. Roles that I'm interested in playing. Comedies. I want to do lots of comedies.
Nice.
Comedies, man. Come on. we wanna laugh.
You're
He is
great.
funny.
You're very funny.
You're really funny.
You and your sister together.
Sarah is the funniest. I
crack
can talk
me.
about Sarah this whole podcast. Sarah's the funniest. Sarah's so funny.
And but the two of you together are a little intimidating because half the time I have no idea what's so funny.
Because it's
Because
not funny.
yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
not funny. It's
Sarah's
twin language.
Older sister.
Yeah.
I don't know if other people have that with their
Yeah, you got
twin or whatever, but it's like it's very what's the word where you exclude people? Exclusive. It's very
rude.
exclusive. It's rude. It's rude.
Yeah,
It's
your
fucking
little
rude.
sister, your little sister hates it.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's like we go into our little alien language,
gone.
and we're thinking of bits that are out of the fucking realm of what?
Oh, Freddie. All right, I have a question. If you can look into, this is the same question. If you can look into the next 20 years of your career, what would you like to see as an achievement for yourself?
Stay present, man.
Just say present. Well, I know you write and you want to, and you're
I know.
a very good
I know the
writer.
answer to that.
Okay.
I have a very specific answer to that, but is it worth going into? Because I don't want to. No, honestly, it's fun because then you can look back and be like, oh, look, he did it. You know what I mean?
There you go.
I think I've just really seen where I want this to go, and I know that I have done so many fun things in TV in the last 10 years, and that was really, really fun. And now I just want to make really cool movies, and I want to write stuff, I want to direct stuff, I want to do everything. But I also want it to take as long as it takes, and I want it to be right and not quick. So I want it to go I want to be 50s and be cool, I'm making really great art.
Great.
And I get to work with whoever I want.
Really good goals. Help them around when you're 50.
You will be. You're going to live forever, Mo.
You're going to live forever. That's what he says. All right. We are going to now shift to Tell Me Lies. We have a lot of questions for you. Tell Me Lies. I'm going to give the audience a little bit about what it is. Tell Me Lies is follows a relationship between Lucy Albright and Stephen DeMarco as it unfolds over the course of 8 years after meeting at college. This is just for people who haven't seen it. It's on Hulu. So good. The Hulu series is based on the novel by Carola Lovering. Look, she spelled it for me phonetically, but I didn't do that right. Season 1 and 2 are currently streaming on Hulu.
And I guess the big finale was last night. Is that right? That the internet apparently is blowing up over.
Right.
We had over 16,000 questions on Reddit.
That's not true.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, 70.
That's not true.
But so we didn't have room for all of them. But truly, like we had to like for Katie Curtright, our producer, to access them. She had to submit her passport, and we had to prove that we were friends, and it was pretty.
We were
intense.
friends.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're friends.
yeah, that we know you.
Yeah, you guys.
So let's start the Tell Me Lies question. Just to start with, here's the first question.
Okay.
Tell us your thoughts on the season 2 finale. These come from Reddit. What are
You don't
your
wanna
thoughts
spoil
on it?
stuff, though, if people haven't seen it.
Well, but he can tell his thoughts.
At this point, it's like, yeah, if you haven't seen it, then go see it.
At this point, fuck you if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, really. It's great. I love it. I think it's tied together so well. It's so juicy. I like his ending. I like my guy's ending this year. I think it's really fun. And there was a lot of fun stuff to work with. It was cool.
I've already seen it, but
Yeah,
I
you've
can
seen it.
spoil it.
I've seen first season. I have
Yeah.
not started season 2 yet.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I just have to know
You
when
didn't
to
come to my baseball games.
oh my God. I
didn't come
never
to-
play baseball.
I know exactly. That's what you
He
thought.
did play baseball.
That's what you thought.
I would go to the T-ball games.
T-ball?
Yeah.
There was like 10 years in between T-ball and me graduating high school, my man. Okay?
I came to all the plays.
Yeah, you came to all the play.
We did come to all the plays.
You liked the art. You didn't like the...
But you didn't do any sports.
I know. I'm just fucking with you.
He did soccer. He did baseball.
Hey,
No, not really.
I loved juice boxes and
That was
coolers
before me, though.
across a soccer field. Trust me, you played.
Oh, but
soccer.
I was really young.
Yeah,
You were really young.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your
I'm
question?
sorry. What was the question?
Apparently about how I was an absent father.
I fucking... no, don't worry, you weren't. He wasn't. He wasn't an absent father.
Okay,
He was
so
a tortured father.
I was tortured. I was so tortured. So sticky.
Dicky.
This is also from Reddit. Jackson, what drew you to your character in Tell Me Lies, and do you relate to him on a personal level at all?
I think I've been kind of realizing this recently that I think I got the role because I understood that he was really funny. I think that's why it worked, because I think he's really funny. I think he's like, wow, dry as a bone, and I think he's and you don't know what he's thinking, and I think he's, he just kind of says things like this, and he fucking shoots it out and manipulates people. You don't know really what he's thinking, and I thought that was really funny. And I said it. I think I just tried to put like no dressing on it, and it made it work, and it made it fun to play. So I think that's probably why I got the job. I don't know if I was drawn to working again. You don't really have a choice in your first 5 to 10 years of this, or you usually don't. Sometimes
Right.
you get to, pop off, but you kind of have to be placed for the first 5-10 years. That's usually how it goes. You got to be put where they think you should go, which is really hard. It contradicts being a 20-year-old person, 20th person, because you're ambitious and you want to work hard, but you also have to have this spiritual, like, letting go aspect of it, which is really impossible to have both those going on, which is why so many people quit. That's right. Because you just go nuts. So I don't know. I really liked how the character, how intense, all that stuff. But really, if I'm being honest, it's more like I was just excited to work.
Right.
You know, it had been a while, and they saw something in me that I could do it, and I didn't see that in myself.
Then you had done the series before. You did Mrs. Fletcher, and then did you do something in between?
Like a movie.
You did. Well, you did Ambulance. I know.
Yeah, I did that. I did like a movie, but
But then there was the pandemic. It was just
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I really haven't been going this long. I mean, yeah, I think I think you just have to trust that you'll land in the right place and they'll put you in the right place.
It's hard.
It's really hard.
If any advice that I remember giving any of you guys was like, you better really like the arts because
You gotta like it
it
so
is
much
really hard
because it's this
to-
much of it.
Yeah, it's really like you have to be your own advocate and you have to really be committed to it because a lot of people will tell you no, you cannot do it, and so that's kind of and be a little nuts. You have to be a little nuts.
You have to be crazy. Megan and I were just talking about this too. Like literally before I walked in here, we were talking about how you have, like, there's a romanticizing of the craziness in this business, and then you become crazy, and then that fuels your success a lot of the time. It's like this engine for the business where you kind of have to be like this free artist, but then also have a business brain, but don't let them see that business brain, but be nuts. And there's a lot of shit you got to do.
Well, yeah.
Do you agree with that? Or do you think maybe there's less you have to do and I overthink it?
What do I think?
Oh no, I'm fucking it up.
No,
I shouldn't be doing this.
I think you're.
Should I quit?
I think, you know,
You're just the right amount of crazy.
yeah, it's, and I, you know, the romantic, like you have to, there's a certain part of it that you have to live the character to a certain extent and be that, and not that it means you're inauthentic but there is, you know, there's a mask that you have to walk in a room with to so to speak, and you know, and yeah, that can be intense. I think it's a mask that's more intense than most people have to wear.
Yeah.
Everyone has some kind of mask they put on before they walk into a room.
Yeah.
But I think to do what we do, it's you know, that mask is sometimes it's hard to take off. Sometimes it's hard to put on.
Yeah.
You know.
I didn't realize. I used to cringe so much at people doing interviews or whatever. I'm like, oh, it's so fake, so bullshit. And then I started doing them, and I was like, oh, you put on a mask. You actually have to perform. Everything is a performance. Meetings are a performance. Everything is a performance.
That's right.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean whenever you say performance, that sounds inauthentic to me, and I don't think it's an inauthentic vibe that
No.
right? I just think
it's almost like you have to act like you've had more coffee than you've had. Truly, like you have to kind of act like you're happy to be there, even
Right.
if you're not.
Right.
It's not like
yes, absolutely.
like I'm not someone who can fake how I feel. I've never been that way.
Right.
I know you guys know that because
Yes.
I can read it on my face, but I can shift my perspective to have enthusiasm about something that I don't have,
right.
and that's what a lot of this is.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, and the authentic quality in that is the awareness of what you're doing.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the people around you.
Yeah,
and then you
It's
affect the people around
you.
you.
Walk out of that room and you're very aware of. It was okay. I turned
you
it
have to
on.
sell
I
yourself.
turned it on just enough. Totally.
Right.
You know.
Because we are self-advocating. You are the product. So
I have to do that every night before I even get dinner.
You just sell yourself.
I gotta
go to dinner with
do
your
20
family.
minutes.
You got 20 minutes.
Yeah. And
Sell-
sometimes Esme gives me the thumbs down.
She's
and
like, I don't want that product.
I go hungry.
I don't want Dad tonight.
all right, here's another tell me lies question.
Okay. I would. Yeah.
Stephen, I mean, I have a question about this later, but Stephen told Lucy that he loved her. Do you believe, this is for the hardcore fans here, do you believe this to be true, or is he incapable of love? You do a wonderful job portraying him. This is from YouTube.
I think he loves her.
I would say
I don't know.
I would say he thinks that what he feels is love.
Is love.
And
Totally.
now it may not necessarily be the deepest or the most healthy
Yeah.
kind of love.
Yeah.
But that his conception or his understanding of it, he believes that he is expressing an in love.
Bingo.
Right?
That's a good way
Well, also, they're very trauma bonded, I would say. I mean, I know that's kind of like a woke thing to say, but the two characters, there's something, they're just symbiotic in this kind of fucked up way.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, they're totally trauma bonded. I think they both have really patchy, inconsistent upbringings, and it affects their love lives
In two completely different ways.
in two different complete. Yeah, you're in mine.
Yeah.
Right.
But like that is
character's
way
in mine.
different than
Hers.
your characters. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is opposite.
But both damaging.
Both fucked up.
Yeah. I would say hers is worse.
like a cold,
There's that
lying kind of.
where it's all, where she's a fucking train wreck from the minute she wakes up in the morning.
Yeah,
I guess.
you were. That scene
I was.
so hard to film. I talk about this all the time.
We do have a question about that, but let's kind of stay on script a little bit. So your answer to that question is you do think that Stephen loves Lucy,
I
think he's in that sort of way that Kurt was
I like
explaining
what
it.
Kurt said.
Yeah.
He thinks he is. He thinks he.
He thinks that's love.
That's what he thinks it is.
Right. And as opposed to what his relationship with Diana was, which I think
also-
but don't you think he also that was a kind of manipulative relationship? Do you think he thought he loved Diana? Or did he just want what he wanted?
Maybe he didn't. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he just wanted what he wanted. I'm just regurgitating what you're saying because I don't know. I'm like, yes, that's exactly right.
Boy, did you hit the nail on the head there?
You nailed it. You both nailed it.
Yeah.
Leave it there.
We're good. Can you answer the rest of the questions for
You
me?
got it. You got it.
All right. I'm gonna. This is an interesting question. From Reddit. How or did your perspective on relationships, I guess your personal relationships, change while working on Tell Me Lies? I would imagine that's seeing the machinations of the character and other characters. Did it change how you maybe take a look at your own relationships, and did it impact?
That's a good question.
I think that's what.
That's a really good question.
implying.
I think any job does that. Any role or long period of time where you're focusing on a particular thing changes how you do, right? Like that's what happens.
Yeah, I would say that.
You get a different perspective. I wouldn't say like saying Steven's lines made me talk to people different, but I think obsessing over a role like that and going deep in it and disappearing into it for a while gave me just a different viewpoint on how I spoke to people or how my relationships were going. You know,
How you
I don't know.
behaved.
Yeah, I don't think it was role dependent though. I just think, literally going to Atlanta for 6 months at a time probably affects your relationships because,
Right.
you just, I don't know, you have a different,
You're in a different world.
you're a different world.
Right.
But I think more the question is more like, is there anything that's taken into other relationships? I think the question is really like, he's in fucked up relationships. Does that ever translate into personal relationships?
Right. You're right.
And the truth is,
does he ever
yes.
shit on? Does
does.
Steven shit on Jackson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no, it's definitely it exposes certain manipulative behaviors that you don't want to do in real life. So if you Like there's certain things you have to emulate in the show that you don't want to speak that way to someone in the real world because that would be insane.
Right,
So there's definitely things that
Don't do this.
don't do that.
Well, that's so interesting because when you're playing a character like you're playing, which is he's pretty hateful at times and
Yeah.
unaware and well, he is aware, but sort of, he's a little psycho.
Can I just say, you guys, all the interest and the questions at this show that I do
Right.
is stroking this part of my ego that like wants parental validation. So it's really like, it just feels like you're telling me my lab report was great, like over and over and over.
Oh, good.
It feels like I
Doesn't that feel
I got
good?
A's on my whole report card because
Wow.
you're answering questions.
So I have to find a question where we can upend
Which
that.
is not
Why do you suck so bad in the second season, but not in the first?
I have a question.
Okay.
This is from Jasmine somebody on YouTube. Jackson, you are an amazing actor. When you read the finale for season 1, what was your reaction to the Diana Lydia scene and the season 1 finale overall?
Diana Lydia scene. I don't think that's a scene.
I don't remember a Diana
You
Lydia
just mean
scene.
both of those scenes?
Katie knows.
Right, this just in. Yes.
1000%.
Season 1 finale was when, like, you walk down this, you remember.
Yeah.
You walk down the stairs with Diana.
There was a part in the book that I really liked that I hoped they put in. They kind of changed it. I knew that he was going to end up with Diana at the end, and I liked it. But there was a part in the book where he leaves with Diana, and then they're taking like a campus shuttle back to their dorms, and he gets in this campus shuttle with Diana, and they're just sitting there like he did when he ditched Lucy. And they didn't know that Pippa's in the van, and Pippa sees them together and just starts like beating his head up and just starts like slamming his head from the back of the van, and he just stands there and takes it.
Oh.
And I just thought that was so cool, and I wish they put that in. My brain's so ADD right now. I just thought that was so cool.
Wow.
That he just took the beating.
He just sat there in this van and just took punches to the head. So the question was...
Well, did you like the season
I
1
loved-
finale?
I loved the season 1 finale.
Okay, great.
The part with Lydia, I don't think anyone would expect. I didn't expect. I still don't expect. I don't know. That one was the more surprising one
Yeah.
because it's so random.
I find the show, because I'm invested in the show, I find the show very surprising. It takes turns that I don't think it's going to take. And that's one of the
cool.
things I enjoy about it, is that something will happen. I'm just like, whoa, didn't see that coming.
That's cool. That's really
Didn't
cool.
see that coming. I think that's one of the really fun things about watching it, is you're just not sure. People are doing things that are just like, what?
I know. People are...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what would you most like to see happen with your character should the show be renewed for a season 3?
Oh, gosh. I don't know.
That's a big question.
That's big. I mean, what would you say if someone asked you that about your character? In anything.
In anything?
In anything. Like, you don't know.
No.
I would like to get hired again.
There you go.
Like, that would be a dream.
I think you'll get hired again.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
What are
totally.
we going to do? We're not in charge. Hey, buddy.
All right, next question.
Hi, Jackson.
All right.
This is from Reddit. My roommates and I love... Tell me lies. We know... Well, they were in caps. We noticed that gaslighting is a huge part of how Stephen interacts with everyone. How do you approach filming these scenes without making the manipulation too obvious so that the audience falls for it as well?
Well, isn't that the secret sauce?
Yeah,
Can't reveal that.
Very
Can't
good.
do
at that.
Roommates on Reddit.
yeah.
But I don't know. Let's go in there and try and believe it all.
Yeah, I
Try
don't
and
think.
justify it all. I don't know. You just I don't know. It's a whole thing.
I don't think people know. Well, I guess that there's intentional gaslighting.
Well, what's interesting is that if you're, there's a dry sincerity to the character that sometimes is he telling the truth? Is he not telling the truth? Which makes it's almost more insidious because it's the same energy when he is telling the truth.
Right.
So it's like that's what that's why gaslighting is so dangerous.
Yeah.
Because
He believes it himself.
Yeah, so you can't, it's you have to deliver it like it's the absolute truth.
It's the only way to play a villain, too.
Yeah.
It's the only way to play your favorite villain is
Yep.
they believe every word they're saying.
Yes.
That's what makes, because it's not, no one's a villain. Everyone's a human.
That's right. Everyone thinks they're doing it for the greater good.
And that sums up that guy. It sums up every other guy we love to hate in movies and whatever.
Just when Mads Mikkelsen, who plays
Oh, what a great example of it.
I just had worked him for a heartbeat, but it was always about now, where's the humanity in the scene? Yeah. Because that's what makes him evil, is that he's a human being doing this, and so there's no mustache twirling and what's
Even though I think my impression of Steven, the part you're playing, is that there is some calculation behind what he's doing. Like, particularly when he's trying to either make a point with Lucy or, there's a lot of... It feels calculated at certain points. Wouldn't you agree?
Of course.
Yeah.
But even in the calculation, you play it as real.
It's a good point, though. Like, what we're saying in theory is so the way to be, but in this show there is also it's so intentional. It's so intentional that he's.
But don't you think that even in the intention that for him there's a sense of, I know I'm intentionally doing this to fuck with somebody, but it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, that could be it too.
Do you know what I mean? Like, he has, even though he knows he's fucking with people or hurting people or whatever it is he's doing, there's a part of him that has to believe that it's
I'm
okay.
helping him out.
It's okay for me to do this because of blah blah blah.
Yeah, that's
like
so true.
There's a part of you that has to be okay with it.
Yeah.
And think that it's not the wrong thing to do.
Yeah, that's very true.
Because there's not a lot of self-reflection going on.
Even though he's really a psychopath, this guy. He has not a lot of conscience.
You're consciously manipulating, but you're doing it for the greater good, for the purpose.
Even if he,
Yeah, even if it's to save his own ass.
Exactly.
Even if that's the greater good, which is to cover up another thing you need to cover up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because what's so fascinating and why, I finally understand why it's called Tell Me Lies is just everybody's lying. It's just
Everyone's lying.
wild.
Yeah.
Everybody. All right. I have a question. Okay, this is a long question from somebody on Reddit. Hi, Jackson. We absolutely adore your performance as Steven in both seasons so far. Thanks, Katie and Kurt, for this opportunity to have you here. We're curious to know, did you have any creative freedom in shaping this character? Do you think his internal struggle with morality this season reflects real-life challenges of forgiveness and redemption? This is deep. And fingers crossed, might we get to hear any of your covers in the future season's score? In other words, are we going to hear your music? And to me, I'm just going to parse this down a little. Did you have anything to do creatively with the shaping of the character? Or was it on the page?
As much as anyone does signing on to something, I mean, you sculpt it, you definitely bring your own flavor to it, but you're part of the fun challenge is servicing the story, and trying to do your best to interpret. That's our job, is to interpret. And yeah, if there's something that isn't adding up or I'm confused about, then I can usually step in and try and I don't know, get to the bottom of it, see if I can make it work in another way. But yeah, no, I mean, down to the clothes. Clothes were amazing. Costume people, the lines were great writers. The fucking hair was great hair. Like, I didn't do much. I just kind of showed up.
It does become kind of a symbiotic relationship between writer and actor.
Yeah.
That's been my experience when I've been on a series, is that the writer kind of feeds off what the actor brings to it, and the actor is interpreting what the writer has given him. It kind of like...
I noticed that the second season,
Right, I would imagine.
I saw a lot of more personal styled, maybe dialogue or situations or whatever that were just influenced by knowing them better,
Right.
by knowing the actors better.
Right. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what happens.
I
Right.
That's
Is that what you would do? Like if you're like when you got to know those boys so well on Sons,
Right. Yeah,
you kind of start.
You learn how to write for different actors, and strengths, terms of relationships, and leaning into the stuff that works, and you definitely find their voice
Yeah.
for the most part as much as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun. I love being on series because of that. I think it's really... because it grows, right?
It does grow. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to see the evolution of that.
Do you have another question?
I
do.
Freddie does.
I think you have question 10.
I do have question 10. And this is also from Reddit. Where did you gain inspiration and guidance for the character of Stephen? Were there any films or TV characters that helped you tap into his mind?
I'm very influenced by what I'm watching at the current moment.
Which would be?
Like when I was first starting the role, I was watching Ozark. So I was trying to do Bateman.
Right. Gotcha.
And then when I first got the audition, I had just watched Iron Man, and I was trying to do Robert Downey Jr. in Iron Man. I was like, I don't know. I just get influenced by things I like, and then I copy them, and then they turn into my own flavor.
Nice. That's a good answer to that question.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, I totally steal like an artist, you know?
Yeah.
I totally rip shit.
Absolutely, man.
100%.
And then turn it into my own flavor.
Love that. I love that.
And
We all do.
Yeah, everyone does, and if you don't, fuck you, because you do.
That's right. Everybody
Yeah, you got to find stuff that just, I don't know. Sarah told me one time that there's, I don't know, I'll botch this, but there's just some part of us that latches on to certain things in a very specific way that won't latch on to other people in the same way. There's like really weird specific moments of like a Jim Carrey movie that I can't, like a Bruce Almighty scene that I can't get out of my head. You know what I mean? And that'll influence like a lot of things that I do for some reason.
Right.
And it'll be something weird like that I'll have.
That had an influence.
it's just in there.
Yeah, and I have no idea why.
Yeah.
It just stuck with me.
Right.
Grandmom.
Hi, Freddie.
He can still keep running around the podcast, or we can dismiss him.
No,
Or whatever
he's,
you-
No,
he's
good.
trying out
I
every
love-
lap.
I love
Okay, he's
him.
trying every chair.
All
He's gonna
right.
have so many angles on him.
He just likes to look at you.
I know.
Here's another question. So we got the answer to that question. I love that.
Mom, will you get the little booger on his nose?
Oh my gosh.
He's got a bear in the
Where?
It's just kind of the side. It's like a little froth he gets on the side of his nose. I don't know what it is.
I don't know. Did I get it?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
It's like always around like 5 p.m. He gets
He
like
gets the same thing.
he gets like rabies nose.
I wonder what
little
that's
5 p.m. show.
It's so weird.
All right, Stephen's relationship with his sister Sadie may be the only one where we don't see his manipulative, narcissistic, and menacing tendencies.
Yeah.
And instead, we see tenderness, selflessness, and care. Which of these reflect the real Stephen?
Well, that's a relation. That's just someone who he wants to preserve before what happened to him happens to her.
Got it.
That's his whole thing with her. He wants to protect her and maintain her, because she's the only one that hasn't seen his horribleness.
Right.
Also, from a storytelling point of view, you need that relationship.
Yes.
Not just to humanize him, but knowing he's capable of that makes what he does that much more difficult to process. And
Yep.
without that, you don't have the awareness that he can be that if he wants.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So it's
another color.
a device, and it's dimension, but it's also perspective.
It's it's super necessary. I agree. I loved having that. It always made me feel relaxed and like I get to, because we got it both seasons where I get to see some of his family stuff and just a nice moment of like, yeah, he's not a murderer.
No.
Well,
Maybe.
well, he's not a.
That's a hard question.
He's not. Never mind. Next question.
Your question is next. You're number 12.
Thank you, Katie. Mm-hmm. This is from Reddit. Hi, Jackson.
Are they getting louder?
I don't know.
What's going on?
First, let me applaud you for playing the character Stephen.
You're doing it for them?
I am. The subtle intensity. All right. The subtle intensity and the nuances you bring to the character deserve a huge shout out.
Subtle intensity is a
Why
nice
you're
one, right?
so
A little bit.
I think that's an oxymoron.
The role of Stephen's mother is played by your real life mom, Katie Seagal, and the scenes that the two of you had in season 1 were so amazingly done. How difficult it was for you to play those scenes, especially to act with such hostility and deep-seated hatred towards your own mother? Was that animated enough?
That's great, man.
It's really
I actually lost
straight
track
from
of the
Reddit.
question.
I would too.
I was so excited
Wow.
to hear you talk. Yeah. It was really hard. I had a hard time, but it was really fun. By the end, I was like, oh, thank God. But because it was normal. It was normal. We were rehearsing it. You flew out to Atlanta. We were in the courtyard.
Ready?
You just let me know whenever you want him to.
Okay, it's okay. He's good.
He's going to watch your answer now.
You gotta make sure you answer correctly.
So, yeah, you were rehearsing. We're running it with Sam, remember, in the courtyard. Mm-hmm. And then it was normal. And then when we showed up on set, and you're in the kimono or whatever, and you're in bed, and you're like, why didn't you come say hi to me? And I was like, oh, it's so scary. It was so visceral and uncomfortable. And it was great. It worked really well, and you were so brilliant at that. But it was totally hard because she's like, just I don't know. It was something about that's probably my favorite written episode
It was well. I thought the
for
dynamic
his character, for Steven's character, because it's like it's really spot on.
Well, the dynamic that's why I think it was somewhat. I don't know if I'm going to say easy, but the characters were well drawn. You understood this mother that he had that was completely narcissistic and, just out just for herself. So it was something that, it's always the writing, isn't it? It's always the writing. Totally. To me, it's the writing. Like if the writing fits or you understand what it is you're interpreting. And that was a very well written episode, I thought. And I found it surprisingly easy to fall apart around you, I must say.
Yeah, you
And
just go there.
and I just it's another one of those devices which it humanized Stephen to see where he came from.
The trauma.
The trauma.
Yeah.
I mean, that was really I totally enjoyed playing it. And I really do hope they bring me back.
I hope so too. I wish you don't know you're in the good days until you're past. I just wish I was more present in that first season when we were doing that because it was such a special experience. But I think the first season I was so scared.
Yeah, and
I thought you were so present. It's so funny you say that because when people asked me about it, I was like, he's Johnny on the spot when it's time to go.
Oh man,
I thought you were very present.
I was in so much fear.
Interesting.
So afraid because I don't know, man. I just didn't think I was going to work again. I truly didn't think I was going to work again. I was like, oh, this won't happen.
You mean before you got the job?
Yeah.
Ah.
Because of all that stuff, all that shit, all that personal hootenanny.
That you went through. Right.
And I was like, no, it's not. So anyway, that's a tangent, but I wish I could. I did really appreciate being out there with family. That was really cool.
So are you saying you kind of felt afraid the entire season one?
Mm-hmm.
I gotcha.
Afraid of what it was, afraid of how it's going to be perceived. That's why I didn't eat.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't eat
I know.
the whole first season. I was like, I had M&Ms and cigarettes, and yeah.
So second season, you were a little more comfortable, not quite as afraid.
Yeah.
Great.
I was afraid about other stuff.
Right.
It's like you just cycle through fears. You'll never be out of fear. But unless you're like, I don't know, if sometimes you're not working. And
I applaud you.
sorry. Sometimes you're not working and you're like, oh, I'm not afraid of anything. I'm just actually, I might actually be bordering towards depressed because you're just sitting there. It's like you gotta, when you're active and you're doing shit, then you're afraid. I don't know. Do you find that?
I find my fear, once they say action, I'm not afraid.
Totally.
It's before. It's everything. It's getting there. It's all the stuff. It's the nerves before.
Yeah, I'm watching Grace experiences right now because she starts tomorrow.
She does. Tomorrow's her
starts
first
tomorrow.
day.
And
We have
she's
to
like,
send her a little something.
you get a text her.
Yeah.
But she's like in that it's terrible. Before you start a job, you're like,
I can't do this.
What am I doing?
yeah, what am I doing? They're going to find me out.
Right.
And then you do it and you're fucking, she's going to be amazing. But that's what happens.
And it's funny how you can sort of feel that depending on what material they're giving you that day, you can feel like, oh, I got it, or you can feel like, oh shit, how am I going to get there?
Yeah.
On that day.
Yep.
It's great. It's so great. All right. I have another question. What was your favorite scene to film this season in season 2? What was your favorite scene? That's always hard.
What was your favorite scene to watch?
Oh, you're so funny. I've enjoyed quite a bit.
This is funny because I'm on a little fucking, show on Hulu.
Right.
And you guys have had fucking thunderous, giant careers, and we're sitting here talking about my little show on.
Because you have lots of fans, and we're not asking
I want
you.
to talk about fucking.
What do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about you guys.
What do you want to know? You know
What do you want to know?
What do you want to know?
So aggressive, Mom. What do you fucking want to know?
You know everything.
Here we are.
I don't know everything. I don't want to know everything. But I know a lot. Look, okay, I'll answer the question.
Okay. Your favorite scene?
I don't know.
You don't know your favorite scene?
I don't know.
It's a great.
I can tell you my favorite time off camera was hanging out with my friends.
Right. Because you
my
all get
friends in
along.
the cast because everyone's really close.
Right.
And that's the best. And we play stupid games and we eat junk food. And
That segues into my question.
Oh, boy.
What was your favorite behind the scene? What was your favorite story from behind the scenes?
yeah, so me and the cast, we're all really close. No, I don't know. We would do stupid random stuff. We got a party bus one time to go to dinner because we were just bored and we were like, we should all chip in. I don't know. We were just bored out there. We played Settlers of Catan. That was the best.
What is that?
It's a board game. You know this game. I've told you about this game.
Oh, but I don't know the
You
game.
played the board version.
The board game version. Is it a electronic version?
I think it must be online. It must be a digital version of it too, right?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
So we played that. We ate a lot of sweets and cooked a lot and walked a lot. And I don't know. We're just mellow. Yeah, we're just hung out.
That's great.
Stayed out too late a few times.
And had to go to work the next day.
No.
Oh.
Never before
Work.
Never before work. I was always good about that. I learned that from you guys. Don't fuck with the job.
I
Didn't learn that from me.
Okay.
Yes, he did. Stop. You already
learn
down
that
on
from
yourself.
me. Let's cut. Let's cut.
Okay.
I don't want to do this anymore.
This
The
is
last
one
question.
question. Last
I'm just
question.
kidding.
This is from Yellow Heart Emoji on Reddit.
Oh,
So you have to answer this
a
question.
yellow heart emoji.
What about the show's production do you think viewers would be most surprised by? What does that mean? I don't know what that means.
You're so tired.
Yellow heart.
Your second podcast.
Yeah, yellow heart's tripping.
Just let him answer it.
Yellow heart.
No, here's look. If you want a little tidbit, most of that shot on a stage. So you walk in dorm rooms and then you walk in the next door. This is just a fun behind
fact.
fun fact. All the dorm rooms are next to each other, so it'd be like, and here's one that the internet will like. You got one sex coordinator, one intimacy coordinator that would kind of line up with like a week. So it'd be like a sex week, and there'd be like sex scenes all day long. So there'd be like an intimacy coordinator running from set to set because like Lucy and Leo were doing it, but then like Bree and Oliver were doing it, and there would be like, it'd be like sex days, and then I'd be in my trailer. So it's
Wait. What's the difference between a sex coordinator and an intimacy
Yeah, what's
coordinator?
the difference?
it's the same thing. I'm just being colorful.
Oh,
Sex coordinator.
so that's
an intimacy coordinator.
Yeah, I'm just changing.
I was just
it
like
up.
thinking if there was like somebody that was actually designated to
Coordinating
like show you how to do it.
They did.
Well,
They
First
do?
season, I got Fox. I don't know if it was Fox. It was like Hulu or 20th or someone was like, he's not thrusting right. And I was like, what? How? And they're like, well, he's kind of, it doesn't look like he's inside. So we have to make it so that it's more realistic. And then he's doing kind of like a body roll thing. And we want it to be more kind of stationary. So can we work on this body roll?
wow.
Wow. That's wow.
This is it. And Megan called me. She was like, I'm so sorry about this phone call. We got some notes. We got some notes.
You have 4 pages of your
Thrusting notes.
Yeah. And we worked on it. And I
Nailed it.
nailed it.
Great. That's so good.
But yeah, there's like there's a hand in everything. Everyone has a say. I don't know if who said that note.
Sure. Well, somebody felt like you weren't penetrating.
Yeah, I guess. Well, when you're doing a sex scene, you're like, you don't want to be like all up in their shit.
Yeah, you do, man.
Yeah, you do. Fuck
Yeah.
He's never done one.
Yeah, you never. Don't worry. Oh,
You've never had sex?
No, you've never done a sex scene on a TV show.
You know,
or
I
a
always
movie.
forget that Kurt is a virgin.
In terms of having sex on a TV.
Wrong.
in real
wrong.
life. But Peep the fans don't know
Wrong.
this. Kurt Sutter is a virgin.
No. I don't got raped in prison.
Oh. Yeah.
So
Okay.
No.
I don't think I'm a virgin.
Okay, you're not a virgin.
All right, we're going to wrap it up.
It's probably
We're gonna wrap it up.
We were kind of tangenting.
Thank you so much for coming and answering all these questions, honey.
Thank you for having me. I mean,
Is there anything you want to share with the audience that you have coming up? Is there any kind of anything that I know you just did the Bumble thing. I don't know when that's coming out.
I did a Bumble movie.
Great.
That'll be coming out.
About Bumble. Still, you played a bee.
I played it wasn't about the dating app. It was about the Bumblebee. It's basically a sequel to Bee Movie.
I wear a giant bee suit.
It's a Bee me in a bee suit. So that'll come out soon, and then other than that, just catch me at the the local coffee shop, and I'll just be planning my next move.
Great.
You and me both, baby.
Checking in with family. Kurt and I'll be just playing video games and
Yeah.
Put your heads together.
putting our heads together, trying to come up with that one great idea that we've always talked about, which is gonna be about. He doesn't know yet. He's still working.
I just can't.
it should be about Freddie.
I can't get the image of you with a giant pea suit out of my head.
Yeah. Well, you'll see that next year. It'll be
And
in
just like
theaters.
with a cigarette, and anytime somebody says something, you go buzz.
Buzz off.
Buzz off.
That's cool. It's a great look. Oh, so it sounds like we're already on to something. I think we got our.
Okay, everybody has to be quiet now. I'm going to say something to the camera.
Okay.
Thank you so much for listening.
Bumblebee stuff.
Please follow, rate, and review wherever you listen to your podcasts. And please check us out on YouTube at Kurt Sutter's YT page. That means YouTube. Kurt has a YouTube page. And don't forget to check out Jackson White on Tell Me Lies. It's streaming the full season on Hulu. It's definitely great.